everyone, I'm Anna and this is the R5 Leather Workshop. And today is National Pet Day, and so I've decided to upgrade my dog's leashes. Now, I'm not making full leather leashes here. Ours work quite well as they are. Ours are these nylon ones, but I've decided to add a little tab with a D-ring up by where the swivel snap is. And this is to put the waist bags on, to either tie them on, or if you have one of the little baggie holders like this, you can attach it to this ring. These don't have it, and I have seen other leashes that have them already there. So we're going to install one of these onto my dog's leashes. This is the first one. I did this one in preparation for this. This D-ring is not the best. The next one's gonna be better, so let's check that out. So first thing, we are going to be adding a collar to this. My dog's hair is all over it. She is a giant fluffy thing. I will put a picture of her so you can see that. But before we get started, let's talk about the tools that we're going to need for this project. First, you're going to need the leash itself that you want to upgrade and add this little tab onto. You're going to need some waxed thread, a 2" by 3/4 inch piece of scrap leather. This can be any type of leather that you have. Scrap is obviously, you're going to have a lot of scrap, and as you can see, this is a really tiny piece of leather. So you don't even need that big of scrap, and if you've been doing Leathercraft for a while, you are sure to have a piece of scrap this big floating around. You're going to need your blunted needles, a pair of scissors, a lighter. You're going to need your stitching chisels. You're also going to need a set of these pliers or something of the like. You can also use your X-Acto knife in lieu of this if you don't have this, and some TEDS tape. Also, you can use leather glue if you need to for this as well. First off, let me just say this is a super simple project, and this came about because I got annoyed with the baggies for my dogs. I would just tie them around the collar, or I would just tie them on this and they would slide up and down, and it kind of drove me nuts. And then I saw someone else had a leash with the D-ring here, and I thought, oh, let's upgrade that. I have lots of scrap. So the first thing you need to do is have your D-ring. That's the other tool you need, is a D-ring. This one is a better suited size for this leash. So this is actually a really cheap one from Joann's Fabrics. For a project like this where it's not a weight-bearing load, these really kind of cheaper, thinner ones are just fine. So I had these lying around, wanted to use them up, so it's perfect for this. So to get started with this project, you're going to use your TEDS tape. So this stuff is really great for projects when you want to lay something down, knowing you may need to adjust it as you go. It's really common when using like zippers and laying those down. So we're going to put a little piece of TEDS tape here, and this is where these little tweezers come in handy, but you can also use the X-Acto knife. So you have to, this was a little tricky when I first started using TEDS tape. You have to kind of peel it up, and I find I have to sort of peel the sticky part off. And this is where I use my tweezers. And then I'm going to lay my little piece of leather that is 3/4 inch by 2 down. Then I'm going to pull out another piece of TEDS tape. Let's see, already I put it in the wrong spot. All right, that goes there. And I'm going to throw the D-ring through here. And I really do like these for this whole process with the TEDS tape, but again, you could use a set of, you could use your X-Acto knife for this. Peel it up, and it's basically TEDS tape is basically super sticky double-sided tape. So there, like I said, this is a super fast, super easy project. We've already got the leather installed here. The other reason the leather works nice here is it's really sturdy and strong, and so is this nylon webbing that they use for dog leashes. So I find it to be a really helpful way. I just thought this would go really well together. So I'm going to get out my pound board, and I am using my 5-prong set, and I'm going to hammer these in right where the TEDS tape is. I'm going to punch those holes, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. As you can see, we're 90% of the way through this project. There's really no reason to dye your edges in this case or finish anything. I mean, you're out with your dogs. This is not something I feel like needs to be super prim. It's just a great way to use up some scrap and add a new function to your dog leash. So double-sided needles, and we're gonna get stitching. The other thing I should point out here is that when I'm stitching these, I actually am stitching on the outside. My first stitch is actually only through the leash itself, and then it wraps around the leather. This will just make sure that your leather piece is nice and secure. I mean, how simple is that? I am already done with this project. And the nice thing here is you're using scrap. This isn't going to affect the structural integrity of your leash, or, you know, this is not a weight-bearing loop, so you don't need to worry about this being tugged. I will say when you burn the edges here, the nice thing is usually this dog leash nylon also melts too, just like the wax thread does. So I would recommend just going ahead and melting that edges down so it doesn't fray. And there you go. Super, super simple project. I hope you enjoyed this short and sweet one here on National Pet Day. So now let's go out, walk our dogs.